Welcome to part 3 of No One Wants to Hear, or No One, we're just going to call this the dark side. That's what we're going to do, James, when you record these things. When you post them, they're going to be called the dark side, or Heroes Dark Side. I'll figure it out by the time I record it, but welcome to part 3. This is how racism works, because that's where I left off at. Racism works when you aren't in the race, this being racially slandered. So if I walk up to a black person and say, "You're an N-word," and he punches me dead in my mouth and knocks out my teeth, you'll probably say, "Yeah, you kind of had that coming. You kind of deserved that because, you walked right up to that black dude and said, 'Hey, you're an N-word.'" And that black dude might have been having a bad day and says, "All right, little Native American man," boom! Or we could turn that all the way around. "Alright, Chief," boom! Because I don't like being called Chief. I hate being called Chief worse than I hate being called the N-word. But he could have done that. Or my favorite, he could have turned it all the way around. "Alright, you half-breed mother..." You got me dead to rights. I am mixed. And I've been called half-breed more than the majority of my life. So, therefore, he'd have been well within his rights. The good news is I don't walk around calling big burly black men the N-word. No. I generally don't go around calling anybody any racist innuendos because as a person who's part Cherokee, part black, part white, and I strongly believe that I don't have the right to be a racist, but I do have the right to call out a racist at any point, at any time, and I do that on this channel, which is why I said if you are a Trump supporter, you're always welcome here, but you don't have to stay. And you'll always be welcome to come back. But you also have to realize that I drop the truth on this channel. I give you 99.9. I don't bullshit. I don't pull no punches. And I offend people and I'm sorry for that. But if only offensive, if it's touching a part of you that's actually true. And when you think about what I just said, if it touches a part of you that's actually true, I'm gonna tell you guys a funny story. It's not really a funny story because I could have probably killed myself in my sleep. But it's a funny story. So, I work with this lady who's very spiritual. I'm not going to say she believes in God, because I believe in God, and I'm not going to throw God down your throat, because I need God myself. I need Him to save me, so I don't give a damn if He saves you, but as long as He saves me, then that's good. So, I had a dream. And in this dream, there was white James, and black James, and Native American James. Or, to be more specific, there was Cherokee James. And we were in a bar. I tell you guys this before, so I'll give you the cliff notes. Cherokee James is sitting with his headdress, drinking white man's whiskey. White James and black James are at the other end of the bar. White James and black James exchange some words. White James and black James break into tiger fighting style. Native American drunk-ass Cherokee James is watching the fight unfold. And I'm watching the fight. That's in the dream world. The reality is, I'm fucking myself up in my sleep. So I'm literally doing Tiger, Wing Chun, and Crane. Everything I just did, I'm doing in my sleep. And I'm fighting the cover. So at one point, white James goes for a tiger strike. Black James grips him and comes back around to scrape white James's stomach. Real James wakes the fuck up with tiger claw marks on his stomach from me, and I wound up pinning my arm behind me. I have no fucking idea how I did it, but somehow in my sleep I magically scratched myself with a block and got my arm pinned behind me, and I woke the fuck up, holding my other arm down. I'm like, what the fuck? So I woke up. Now I don't do drugs, but what happened was I had her interpret the dream for me, and what happened was I was denying my white self. Alright? I had already accepted the fact of being black and Cherokee, and I know as long as I'm breathing, I will never be white to white men. But I will always have that white in me because it's the genetics. And once she broke that down for me, everything's been right. Didn't have any more dreams like that, any of that shit, because I had to accept it. I refused to accept the white part of myself. I did, because there are times where white people have done shit that just made me not want to have any white in me whatsoever. Made me ashamed to have white in me. And there would grow to have equal time where there would be Native Americans that would do the same shit. It would make me never want to be Native American. And there were black people that would make me never want to be black. You see where I'm going. But I had to accept all three parts, and that was the part. So when I say something about racism, believe me, I've been the victim of racism from whites, Native Americans, and blacks, and I put in that order for a reason. I had about 5 or 6 incidences with white people, maybe, from grade school to college. I've had maybe 2 incidences with Native Americans. You're not pure blood. That was pretty much it. Something my great-grandmother and my grandmother never prepared me for is that Native Americans from different tribes will not see you as a Native American. They will see you as an abomination, and that you are not pure blood. To those who see me as abomination that are Native American, not my fault. Maybe we should have fought harder so that I could have been full-blooded Native American. Maybe if we would have put holes in the boat like my great-grandmother Ada said, the boats would have sunk. Gunpowder can't fire when it's wet. But no Native American man would listen to the smart-ass Native American women. You would send them back to their huts and tell them to shut the fuck up. And now you see why half-breeds like me exist. Because not listening cost your women to get raped and slaughtered, and cost our men to get murdered and scalped. Just so y'all know, scalping was originally not a Native American thing that I am aware of. I could be wrong, but stories vary from tribe to tribe. Same thing like with Coyote and the Thunderbird. But, like I said, there are dark Native Americans, there are dark black people, and there are dark white people. And I'm not talking about skin tone. I'm talking about evil as fuck dark. I understand that. Every ethnicity has some evil in it. Every ethnicity has some racism in it. If you have been blessed to not be on the victim end of racism, good for you. I can't say that. I've been a half-breed from black people a whole lot. Yeah, we don't want the half-breed on our time. We don't want the half-breed on our team either. We don't want the half-breed. He's an Uncle Tom. We don't want the half-breed. He's an Uncle Tom. And this is where it gets racial. The white people would say, we don't want the half-breed because he's half N-word. The black people would say, we don't want the half-breed because he's half H-word. And then we found out I was part of Native American, so then I was totally fucked. Thank you, Miss Conrad. Got to the 5th grade and found out, hey, guess what, James? You're not just black or white. You're part Cherokee Indian. So now you have even more problems than you needed before. No. Learning your culture is very, very important. Accepting your culture is very, very important. Knowing where to draw the line, also very important. It took me forever to accept all of my culture. Henceforth, the story about Cherokee James, Black James, and White James fighting in a bar. But here's the one thing I do accept for sure. If you're not honest with yourself, you can't really be honest with others. Now, here's the thing. A lot of you people who support Trump, you have your reasons. I don't have the right to judge you, and I don't. I do have the right to question your morals, the same way you question my morals on, well, if you didn't like Biden, why did you vote for Biden? Okay, so let me answer that question for you. Because there was no way in hell I was going to vote for a racist. Whether you don't see Trump as a racist or not, it's probably because, 1, you don't know he's a racist, or you're in denial. 2, he's got you by the wallet. Which that basically means if his wallet gets fat, your wallet gets fat. And everybody wants money in their wallet. Everybody. And here's where I offend you. Because this is the most important part where I offend you. If you are of the following races and you vote for him, then there may be some moral issues. If you're a Native American and you voted for Trump, you forgot what he done to the Sioux. You forgot what he said about the casinos. You forgot how he called Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas as he verbally tried to get a good one out of Navajo wind talkers. If you're Mexican, you forgot how he called all Mexicans murderers and rapists and separated kids from their parents at the borders. And I'm not saying he's the only president that did that, because I heard Obama did that shit too. But we all turned a blind eye to that because Obama's black. But let me state this really, really quickly. Obama got in trouble for saving a white American soldier by white people. White people were mad as hell that Obama made a deal to get a white soldier out of trouble, even though they claimed the soldier was a defector and deserter rather, and left his post. Everybody came down on Obama for saving a white guy. But everybody applauded Obama when he deported black people and other people from other black countries the fuck back out of America. Everybody was like, oh, good job. But when you say the white guy, it was like, the fuck's wrong with you? No. But the fact that he saved a white guy worked more against him than for him, which was really fucked up. But Obama never said anything racist while doing it. Where Trump, on the other hand, you guys seen the Fox videos and the CNN videos, and I don't give a damn which one you judge or which one you prefer. He has said some racist ass shit. You know? The only thing that was really happening racially when Obama was in office was the reckless indoctrination of young Muslims and Indians becoming radicalized to join ISIS. You know, and Obama didn't say anything racist about it, but he hinted at it. Just so that you know, I never said Obama was a saint either. But he never really was a racist. Which is my only problem with Trump, is that he's a racist. Now, if Trump came out tomorrow and said, I outwardly admit that I'm a racist, half of y'all would still follow him. The other half of you would rejoin my channel and say, damn, James, you were right. Because I usually am. I'm always closer to right than wrong. But I do weigh all three sides of the coin. I said 3 sides of the coin. Let me explain that for you who need visuals. 1 second while I get this quarter for you. This is a quarter. Let me put this like this so you don't think I'm trying to cheat. This is heads. Spin. That is tails. Get a good look. And this is the center. So you have your truth, my truth, and the truth. So, I can't make you believe my truth. You can't make me believe your truth, because truth is point of view. But the truth, none of us can deny. Or as Sherlock Holmes likes to put it, if you eliminate the possible and all that remains is the impossible, you have found the truth. Because nothing is impossible. And I am the king of the impossible. I'm not here to persuade any of you to stay at my channel if you're a Trump supporter. I'm not here to tell you to go to hell, but, you know, I'm not going to ever support Trump. You can support whoever you want, as long as your ass votes. But you have to understand that Biden's not a saint. I voted him in for default. Alright? Like I said at the beginning of the other video, not this one, not the one before this one, that I voted him in because Elizabeth Warren was out. Andrew Yang was out. And Pete, the dude's last name I can't pronounce, member of the Alphabet Squad, openly gay dude, was out. Those were my top 3 choices. I have nothing against Kamala Harris. I have nothing against Cory Booker. I just wasn't going to vote for them. I already knew that from the second that I saw them, that I didn't want them there. And you could say, well, James, you're part Native American, so why not vote Cory Booker because you're part black? And he's mixed. You can clearly tell he's mixed. But I didn't want Cory Booker there. I didn't vote for him because I knew so little about him. Kamala Harris is just a little bit older than me. I didn't want her there. Not because she was black and part Indian, the ones with the dots. I just didn't really know that much about her. Joe Biden. I didn't want him there. I wasn't going to vote for Biden. But I also wasn't going to vote for Bernie Sanders, even though I am a fan of Joy Behar. But I sure as hell wasn't going to vote Bernie Sanders in. Now, granted, Bernie, Joe, and Trump are some old-ass cats, you know. Luckily, the presidency only really lasts for 4 years. We don't know how well their health is. I'm 47, and I like to think that I'm healthy, but that doesn't make it true. It's true until I collapse. You know, you guys see my martial art videos. Now, my 3 picks. Elizabeth Warren. Because I couldn't get Hillary, and Elizabeth Warren looks like she knows how to run the show. So by looks alone, and then the fact that I found out that she was 1/16% Native American, I was like, yep, that would be ironic and destiny for him to have lost to Elizabeth Warren. So then she could do a Native American war dance as he walks out of the White House. And she could light up the peace pipe. That was a joke. But I thought, you know, it would be ironic for her to win the nominee and then win the presidency. And for once we would have a woman in charge. And a woman of Native American blood, even though it might be a little bit less than mine, but it would be there. And it could probably right some of the wrongs that Native Americans have gone through over the centuries. So, you know, but you don't have to freaking see it that way. My second choice, for damn sure, was Andrew Yang. Not because I love Kung Fu and I like Chinese people. That's like a third of it. But I like the shit that he was spitting. Which really drew me to him being my second choice. Then there was Buddha. Pete. And Pete was openly gay. I got a few gay family members. I worry about their safety. Don't tell them I told you that shit. But I do. I worry about someone who's not open-minded deciding, hey, I'm going to beat up his gay nephew. I'm going to beat up his gay cousin. I worry about them all the time. Because I'm a straight man. And I know they got hands. I know they know how to use them. But that does not change the fact that I, being 47, worry about them. Because they're young. No, well, one of them's young. The other one's closer to my age, and he can handle himself pretty well. But the point of the matter is, Pete was my third choice. Because I know that he would look out for them. And in the events that I die or whatever, that I wouldn't have to worry about my nephews and my cousins that live in the LGBTQ motherfucking alphabet squad community having to worry about what's next for them. Because if the president was one of them, it would be easier for rights to be fought for their right to go into transgender bathrooms, or for their right to have transgender bathrooms created. But of course, I guess nobody really thinks about things like that when it comes to who should the president be. Little things matter to me. Those are little things. The insults that our president kept throwing at Elizabeth Warren disturbed me. Because if you missed it in this video, or the video before this one, or the video before that one, I don't like being called chief. I don't like racism on any level. And when I make my movies and my character is a victim of racism, it is to teach you guys what mixed people go through. Because somewhere in Hollywood, people like me don't exist. Unless it's Rock. But then The Rock's gotten shit from black people because, oh, well, you're always playing a Samoan. You're never playing a black man. And then when The Rock tried to do a black man thing, oh, you're not dark enough to play a black guy. Believe me, I've been there. Because I've applied for jobs and I've wrote down the word black because my birth certificate, in that corner over there, says Negro on it. And in Virginia, it's a right to work and a right to fire state. So if you lie on your application, even though you didn't break any laws, you lied on your application. So if I wrote other on my application, they would fire me because I lied on my application. Said, well, we went through your application and we checked your birth certificate, and your birth certificate says that you're black. But you wrote down Mexican or other. I said, yeah, because y'all told me to. Well, sorry, son, you lied on your application. You're fired. Who needs that? So when I apply for a job, I put down black. And I get strange looks for it. Because the first thing they say is, are you sure you're black? I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm black legally, you know. Said, but you don't look black. I was like, I know, because I'm mixed. Then why don't you put other? Because my birth certificate in 1973, they didn't have that as a fucking option. You were either black or Caucasian or whatever else they put in for Native Americans, or you were either Asian Pacific Islander. My parents do not look like Asian Pacific Islanders. My mom can pass for a white woman. My dad can pass for a black man. But both of them were mixed. So, therefore, I'm a mutt. 1,000%. I do not have the right to be a racist. But I have every right to call out racism and racist. And as I've said in every single video that I've brought up racism in, there are racist blacks, there are racist Asians, there are racist whites. Every ethnicity on this planet has an equal amount of racist people in it. You don't have to believe it. But that's because you haven't been a victim of it. Stay tuned to the 4th video, because now I'm really going to dig into how racism actually works. Be seeing ya.